Yesterday, I saw the Black Phone 2 with a couple friends. I only recently watched the first Black Phone a couple days ago in preparation for the sequel, and I really enjoyed the second one. I thought that 2 was just as good as the original. I think that the original is a tighter narrative than the second one, but I thought that the second one did a really good job. To recap what the Black Phone is for people who don't know, to recap the first movie, Hiccup Haddock gets kidnapped by Ozzy Osbourne and he's put into a soundproof basement that has a black phone that Ozzy Osbourne says that he can't, that it doesn't work. He can't hear it ringing. But Hiccup's able to hear it ringing, and when he answers the phone, he hears the spirits of the other kids that Ozzy Osbourne had kidnapped and killed. With the help of these spirits, as they warn him about the things that Ozzy Osbourne will do, and also help him on ways to escape this basement. With that help, Hiccup learns to stand up for himself, and he kills Ozzy Osbourne, and he's free. Also, his sister has some like gypsy dreams where she's able to like have kind of visions almost that are that are kind of related to the spirit of the kids, seeing stuff like an address, stuff like that. And the sequel, what it does is with Ozzy Osbourne, the Grabber, what they do with him is that since he's dead, they have him become a spirit who's able to speak through the the black phone. And these spirits, much like the Grabber in this movie, he's able to interact with the physical world in certain ways. And that's what it was like in the first movie. In the first movie, there's like a bottle that one of the other victims, they use that bottle to point at something, like telling Finney, who I've been calling Hiccup, to tell Finney like where to go, or like where the thing is. And I think that that's a natural way to take a sequel, because like it's like there's supernatural elements to it. But in the first movie, the supernatural elements, none of them had to do with the bad guy. Like all of the ghosts and stuff were on the main character's side. The bad guy was just a regular dude. And I think kind of giving him that supernatural element makes sense. I think it's a natural way to take a sequel. And what this movie does is, since Finney had his character arc of standing up for himself and no scoping the Grabber with the black phone filled with dirt, it focuses on his sister, Gwen, and I I enjoyed that. It was able to make the sequel way more unique. On top of the sequel taking place in a very different place, it is a like snowed in like a campsite where there's a bunch of other not a bunch, there's a couple other camp counselors, so you have a bigger cast of people doing stuff. But I also like that it's still small scale, because in this movie, like Finney is still kind of haunted by what happened with the Grabber, and he's still hearing um like black phones ringing. There are other like phones stationed around that are out of order, but they still ring for him because they're trying to contact him. But he doesn't want anything to do with it. Gwen keeps having some more dreams that are related to her mother, who also had dreams. The mother was said to have killed herself because of these dreams. And so Gwen's dreams are related to her mother as well as the grabber, going like, uh-oh, he might be back. And so that leads them to go over to the camp. It like just being able to take the same characters, the same type of story, but in a very different way is very cool. I think that they do dream sequences with Gwen. In the first movie, they kind of do some like flashes that kind of have like a shuddery feel to them. And in this one, since we're focusing on Gwen a lot more, they show what her dream sequences are a lot more explicitly. And they do that by having this film grain over everything. And it's really cool, and it's able to separate like what we're seeing in her dream, in her vision, and what's real, because it cuts between real and the visions a lot, but the visions are also kind of taking place in the real world. There are times where she will go to sleep and she's able to kind of, it's like an out of body experience, to where she's kind of able to walk around the real world, see the things that are happening as they are happening, but as like a separate entity, kind of I think there's a mode in Minecraft, like Spectre mode or something in Java Edition. It's like that. They use that to have some really cool scenes with the grabber. Like I think that all the scenes with the grabber in this movie were really good. I like them better than the first movie. I think that I think that Ethan Hawke's performance as the grabber was better in the first one though. But like when the grabber's talking with Finney, when Finney finally picks up a phone and talking to him, because like he's basically saying that he's out for revenge. This is like a much stronger feel for a horror villain to have revenge than like all the countless other horror like monsters it had, like Freddy Krueger or stuff like that. Um, and he's like, "I'm gonna hurt you very bad, so I'm going to kill your sister." And it cuts to Gwen, who's in a dream, seeing the grabber appear from the shadows. And no, like he's able to, like I said, he's able to interact with the real world. And like that's where you see scenes like in the trailer where Gwen's body's getting ragdolled around by an invisible force. That's the grabber attacking her in the dream. The plot of the movie is that they go to this place, and because Gwen's having visions related to the mom, related to the grabber, and related to these boys that seem to be under ice, who the grabber has killed. So in the movie, they go to the camp, and they learn that they have to find these boys, like, because their spirits aren't at rest, the same as the spirits of the boys in the first movie that were helping Finney escape. Their spirits were not at rest, and they deduce that if we put the spirits to rest, that takes away his power. There are there are like cool reveals in this movie that like expand on the lore of the grabber, and like things that like change some things in the first movie, like just like reveals and stuff like that. That just warrants the movie's existence a lot more. I do have to point out that so I saw this movie with three other friends, and their opinions on this movie were a lot more negative than mine. Two of them didn't like it really, like at all. Um, I know one of them said that he liked the dream sequences, but he really didn't like anything else. And I get that. I do think that really the only problem that I had with this movie was between grabber sequences. Once they get to the camp, between grabber sequences, it slows down. Like they're talking to the other counselors, and it's so slow. But what I do, but they kind of make up for it with really really cool grabber sequences, and also they quickly transition into those grabber sequences, like like um as soon as like there's some boring talking thing, it's then immediately into that without feeling like it comes out of nowhere, but without having to go like, all right, we're going to reset and we're going to build up for another 10 minutes, which I just really like. And the third friend, he said that he liked it, but he didn't think there was anything crazy. I obviously am like in the minority, at least in this friend group, because I've seen a lot of people on the internet really liking this movie. I think on Letterbox it only has a 0.1 difference, like a 0.1 score lower than the original. I feel like that's fair. I like some of the ways, like some of the things that Gwen says, like the way they write her is kind of cringe, but it's not really anything different than in the first movie. Like in the first movie, when like Finney starts choking the grabber, and the phone starts ringing, he goes like, "It's for you," and he like puts the phone up to him, and it's like the kids are like, I can't remember what they say, but like, it's "frick you," I guess, and then he dies. And it's like that. It's that kind of cheesy cringeness. But like I think the grabber's design is really good, just like in general, and I think like what they do with him in this one, putting ice all his face, like the specific like uniform that he wears is really good. But yeah, like I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's very good. I'd give both one and two a 4 out of 5, 4 stars out of 5. Like I said, I think that the first one is better. There's not really that big of a gap for me though, but do know that I did that some friends that I went to see this with weren't too hot on it. So, all right, that's about it. Bye bye.
I'll see you on picket fences, mail cartons and magazines. I say abracadabra, you're out like a lie, waking up when nobody can hear you scream. No, I don't listen to sympathy. This mask got me smiling sadistic.